Bowls Australia acknowledges the traditional owners and custodians of the land in which this stream is produced. We pay our respects to all First Nations people and acknowledge elders past and present.
Just a few matches remain in the sectional rounds for the men's triples. It is a very exciting Thursday here at the World Bowls Championships for 2023. We're sitting at Mudgeeraba. Looking forward to this one. Our first day of streaming at this wonderful venue for the tournament. Val Febo here with you ahead of the men's triples clash between Australia and Malaysia. And joining me once again, as he has done throughout the entirety of this tournament so far, is the one and only Barry Lester. Baz, how you doing?
Yeah, good morning, Val. These greens are in tip-top shape here at Mudgeeraba. Beautiful greens. Last sort of 6 to 12 months, they've put in so much work to prepare, and the surrounds are tip-top as well. So the conditions really set up for great play today. And what a rivalry it has been for probably a good 20 years now, Australia and Malaysia. Malaysia's come on leaps and bounds. Lena Ahmed picking up 2002 Commonwealth Games gold medal in the women's singles. And from there, Malaysia really hasn't looked back. So they are definitely a powerhouse country, and Australia will have their work cut out this morning.
They sure will. Well, it's first versus second in Section 2 here this morning. It's obviously Carl Healey, Corey Wedlock and Aron Sherriff up against Haiqal Azami on World Championships debut. Idham Amin Ramlan, who played the Birmingham Commonwealth Games last year, and Hizlee Abdul Rais, who won a silver in Glasgow in the men's pairs in 2014. Now, the way that things are standing, Australia 4 wins, 1 loss. A defeat to India to open things up, but a big 65-0 win over Turkey before the bye. 32-7 over Argentina, defeated Zimbabwe 19-15. Then Samoa 39-5 yesterday. Malaysia, second, 4 wins, 1 loss, but Australia's shot difference, plus 120. Malaysia, plus 63. Fiji, they defeated in the opening round, 15-10. Zimbabwe, they lost to 11-16, defeating France 25-8, had a bye, and then defeated India 18-11 before their last win yesterday over Turkey, 43-4, or Turkey, 43-4. So a big win to finish the day yesterday. This is going to be a really interesting contest because there's a lot on the line for both teams, and the winner would almost guarantee their spot in the quarterfinals. That'd make things very difficult as they've got a game in hand on a lot of the other nations who haven't had a bye yet. So the top 4 teams, Baz, all locked on 12 points, just makes this match all the more pivotal for the winner.
Yeah, it makes it super exciting. That's right, Val. And I just think you're going to see some really high-quality bowls this morning. As I mentioned, the conditions are perfect. Just a little bit of surface moisture on the green. That'll burn off soon as the temperature rises. But we did have a bit of an electrical storm last night pass through. Lit up the skies for hours. And so there's a bit of weather around, but thankfully this morning it's cleared. And you've got Aron Sherriff just coming off the back of playing his 400th test match for Australia a couple of days ago. And Corey Wedlock, Birmingham Commonwealth Games player last year, along with Carl Healey. So they're well and truly entrenched in this Australian team and know each other's games really well. And we've got some staff on the sidelines here from the Australian team as well, cheering them on and making sure everything's in order for a big performance today. It's sort of like a moving day today. Get it done today and start focusing and shifting your focus towards the finals.
Yes, exactly right. And all of the knockout stages, or a lot of them, do start tomorrow. The final proper sectional day is today, and we're going to be getting the horn very, very soon to get us underway in this contest. 18 ends, 2 hours and 15 minutes as it has been throughout the entirety of the sectional rounds so far. But once we move out of that, we're going to go to untimed play, as Carl Healey will be skipping for Australia. Hizlee Abdul Rais to skipper for Malaysia. And there goes the horn. It's going to be Corey Wedlock to get us underway here at Mudgeeraba. First time here on Monday, coming to have a look at the area, and Fiona Hall has done a sensational job getting this ready, as has the chairperson, Wendy Morrell.
So short length, probably about 24 metres. You'll notice really well-presented bowling greens here at Mudgeeraba. Corey Wedlock on the backhand. So the players playing currently in the east-west direction, bowling now towards the west.
We've got a lot of support for Malaysia on the comments here. I think most of the people actually supporting on the comments here are Malaysian.
Yeah, very proud, and quite a large bowling nation now. They have their Asia Pacific Championships, and it's quite a large event across the Asia countries. And it's great to see many of them here at this event over these next few weeks, as Corey Wedlock nails the backhand right on top there, front touch up. So Corey Wedlock, he's zoned in. You'll see that from Corey. It's one of his strengths. He's a very accomplished singles player as well. The ability to really hone in on the jack. And already you'll start to see Malaysia just have to arrive into this head, make sure they're trying to change things up. And the way the conditions are and how good the greens are, you'll see a high effective rate from both teams.
You certainly will. And we know that the Aussies are... You talked to the indoors a few weeks ago for those that weren't tuning in about effective bowls, and we know that the Aussies are going to be sending a lot of those down. They're in the red this morning, all three of the Malaysians using XGs, 2 of the Aussies using XGs as well. Corey using aerodynamics.
Aaron Sherriff just falling short enough to count though, so Aussies holding 2 currently. It's a tricky little shot for Aron. It's always a tough one when your teammate's holding a front toucher and you're not trying to spoil the head. But as we see Carl take a few steps back there, so he's just he's looking at the tee. Yes, Aaron Sheriff's going to try and put one on the tee here. Get one back. Just make sure Malaysia's wary of that and got to be really conscious of their weight control.
Notice that one of Carl Healey's preferred strengths is his ability to sort of utilise these shorter ends. Saw it at the Australian Open in 2022. And, of course, the triples and fours for Australia, Carl and Aaron Sherriff, will be swapping positions. So Carl will go to third in the fours and Aaron Sherriff will skip.
As we see there, Malaysian second, just falling a yard short again. So he'll be pretty disappointed with that, really. Just trying to arrive, change the head up. But Carl now, this is nearly, I wouldn't say one of the hardest shots in the book, but Carl Healey's trying to add to the count here, but he can't spoil the way it's set up. It's set up perfect. You've got a bowl right in the heart of the jack. So he's got to draw high, not set up a target, but also try and count. Australia currently holding 2 shots. Backhand, just out to that chalk line. So that's a nice angle. Just beat that wing bowl there. Be a good start for him. He's done well there.
Malaysian Lawn Bowls Federation, well, they're commenting. They're watching their charges go through the paces here this morning. This is a really big match in the context of this section. The winner would almost have their spot in the quarterfinals.
Aaron Sherriff, just see that positive body language, into the head, plenty of energy, a lot of hand gestures, a lot of voice. That's the key early in the game. Don't try and work your way into the game. You've got to be on the go straight away. He knows that Malaysia's got a little group of bowls out the back there at 6 foot past. So as it sits right now, Hizlee, 2014 Commonwealth Games silver medalist, just falling short to the Scottish pair there.
To the Scots, yes.
Yeah, that was a game, interesting game in itself. I remember watching that live. Scotland went really short against Malaysia, almost minimum length, and they played super, super well. Paul Foster and Alex Marshall to win gold on home soil over there.
A pretty handy duo, those two.
Yeah, for the standout for me was just the ability to play on those slower greens in Glasgow, the short ends, and try and break Malaysia's rhythm. But what a fantastic effort from Farrell and Hizlee to make that gold medal match back in 2014. And those beautiful greens at Kelvin Grove. And here we are at the beautiful greens at Mudgeeraba.
Yes,
on the Gold Coast.
Australia's Gold Coast. And the schedule for the finals, so as we move ever so close, we're only 2 days away from the first finals to be played on Saturday. The women's fours final and men's pairs final will be on rink 17 at Helensvale. And then on rink 21, we're going to have 3 finals. The vision impaired mixed pairs, the para women's pairs final, and then the final of this discipline.
Aron Sherriff measuring for 3. 2 it is.
So 2 for the Australians to start proceedings here this morning. It's a good start as they look to assert their dominance early in this contest and try and get themselves through. They celebrated Aron Sherriff's 400th international cap the other day, Baz, with a 65-0 win over Turkey. They're in a ruthless mood after losing their first to India, and they haven't lost since.
Speaking of ruthless, I've got a bit of a ruthless stat that I'm going to put towards you, Val.
Don't mind these. What have you got for me, Baz?
I don't know the answer to this stat, but I'm going to try and seek the answer. So I'm going to put it back on you. Aron Sherriff's played now just over 400 games for Australia.
Yep.
What is his win-loss percentage?
Oh, win-loss percentage.
I wonder if there's a way of finding that out.
Oh, wow.
I know. I thought I might get a bit of a wow from you.
Yeah, no, that's...
So if you've... I know you don't have the time being such a busy man, but imagine if we could somehow just put that into a little database and it spat out a win-loss ratio, because I believe Aron Sherriff's win-loss ratio...
It'd be well above the 80%, wouldn't it?
It'd be well up there, considering how deep, or how often he gets deep in all the events he plays in. When you think about Asia Pacific Games, we went undefeated in 2 disciplines across about 20-odd games in 2019. So there's an undefeated event where he would have played over 20 games for Australia. So if that's something to go by, and then if you Corey Wedlock just bumping his front one up there for shot, it'd be a nice little stat to run with. It be interesting to know. Maybe get some guesses in our comments. I'll go with around about 82%.
Yeah, I reckon he'd be up there as well. I'll go with the 85. He doesn't lose much, and he's a very accomplished bowler. Doesn't matter what discipline it is, and we saw that at the Australian Open where he almost clinched a Grand Slam. Barry Lester successfully defended his singles title, was a piece of Aaron Disco Wilson brilliance away from taking home the men's pairs gold, and then you were part of the men's fours triumph at the AO. That was an epic final in itself against the Nick Cahill skipped side, Scotty De Jong, Clinton Bailey in that side as well.
Yeah, I think probably the best Australian Open so far, and it's
Brendan
only
Wilson
going from strength to strength, the Australian Open. And as I mentioned the other day, I think some of these players coming out here to play in this World Championship would be going, well, I think we need to try and schedule in to come back next year and play in the Australian Open. They would have got a feel for the landscape, the environment, the beaches, the restaurants, the good weather, and just, if they can somehow, obviously funding's the hardest problem, but if they can somehow fund their way back here next year, would love to see them back in the Australian Open. And that just goes to show anyone from any part of the world can come over and play. So Aron Sherriff, forehand it is, ideally turning Corey Wedlock's second nearest up over, or, well, he's opened it up slightly, but I think Australia's still holding one there. But so Malaysia, nice little opportunity here. They've got 3 bowls past the jack over this short distance, and the jack, if it was trailed, would favour Malaysia.
It would. So as the seconds and leads move down, Idham Amin Ramlan's delivery will make its way down the green, and another one for Malaysia in the head.
That'll be, I think, almost 2 to Malaysia there.
I tend to agree here that Jack High bowl sitting at 3 o'clock for the Australians would be third shot at the moment.
So Carl Healey on the backhand, about probably a foot of room for shot here. No real harm in just being there as well if he wants to look for the 2-shot bowls. Looks like he might be. Yes, he is. Yep. So he's going big here, looking for both bowls.
Carl Healey, he's close. Got him.
And he's done it. And Jack forward, if you don't mind.
That is a sensational result and an early statement from the Australian skipper, Carl Healey. Brilliant. Travis Lester, come on, Aussies. I think you might know him.
Morning, Trav. Back there in Sunny Lakes Entrance, Victoria. So Carl Healey on the backhand looking for both bowls. He gets bowl first, then a little bit of a shave of the jack on the way out. And Australia now holding 2 with Hizlee. Probably about a foot of room there, 18 inches on the forehand.
Great start to the morning for Carl Healey. And Hizlee Abdul Rais. Beautifully done. Asking the question of Carl Healey yet again. There is a reason that both of these two teams sit equal on top of the section. Both 4 wins, 1 loss. The game in hand on the rest. They're in prime position to get themselves through, both of them. But a win here would go a long way to deciding their fates as Carl Healey gets a little trail of the jack, but it hasn't gone through with him. So an opportunity for Malaysia to get on the board with a multiple here.
Yeah, good intent from Carl. Just to arrive, sit the bowl, trail the jack, just getting the smallest of edges. Unfortunately, he's just created a little bit more room for Hizlee. I'd expect him at this level to draw this. There is a little small adjustment to be made, switching over to the backhand as that front bowl of Australia in the way. So he will switch hands. Rocking the bucket cap.
Like it.
Yeah, good to see. Sun is blaring already this morning.
And that will do, I reckon, for second.
So Aron Sherriff just indicating 1.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So missed opportunity there.
Yep. I really thought he'd gone in for the second there, but apparently not.
So Matt in a similar position, just slightly up from the tee. So I expect Malaysia to lengthen this out, as we see from the Malaysian lead there. Bit of a unique setup in terms of the pendulum. You don't see it very often in most bowlers with the kink in the arm. So as we'll see, left-handed setting up, forehand it is. As the bowl is taken back, the arm is moved into a bit of a bent position in the back. There you go, into that kink position, and then nice follow through. So nice forward step, good body weight. And it doesn't matter what you do, you've just got to keep repeating it. And as soon as it becomes effective, the hardest job is to do it over and over again. And the Malaysians train so hard over there at their facility at Bahamas, indoor facility. Got an indoor and outdoor facility there. Also at Buka Kiara.
Yep. They're becoming even more of a powerhouse, and there's been those pioneers like Ziti Selina Ahmed. Has been such a wonderful player for so long. Now they've got the likes of Izzat Zulkepler, who made the final of the World Bowls or World Champion of Champions last year, lost an epic to Sam Tolchard there, and the Nurul Alyani Jamil.
Yeah, 1998 Commonwealth Games were in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur.
Yep.
And Australia had some success there. Karen Murphy walking away with her first Commonwealth Games medal, silver in the 4s. The men's pairs coming away gold. Mark Jacobson and Brett Dupre. What a game that was. Mark Jacobson playing a couple of big drives to get the job done there, but what a luxury. Brett Dupre, 4 bowl pairs it was back then, 4 and 4. And you give Brett 4 bowls, well, you're going to be in good shape.
4 bowl pairs. That's something I've not seen, or I've seen 2 and walk, but not 4 bowl pairs.
Yeah, I love the format, especially at club level, more bowls for club players. I'm actually not a big fan of 2-2-2-2. I either like 4-4 or 3-3.
Yeah, I'm probably more of the same.
I definitely don't like 2 bowl pairs.
Yeah. It takes a lot longer as well, and it's a lot more strenuous on the legs. But that's a good start here from Haiqal Azami, who's gotten the better of Corey Wedlock in the lead battle, as Aron Sherriff will try and change things up here. But Idham Amin Ramlan is not too far away, so Malaysia have 2 as Aron Sherriff steps to the mat.
No communication, just a point of the finger from Carl Healey. I need you to smack into that head. Needs to hold.
He's going.
Get the
He's
split.
going to.
He's got him.
Aron Sherriff has cleaned things up nicely.
It just goes to show about boxing or framing ahead. The Malaysian second there coming down, sitting off the lead bowl and making that a wider target. And that's a 3.5 to 4 bowl target. Aron Sherriff's not going to miss that very often. And out they go. So the lead work was actually hindered by the second setting up a bigger target, unfortunately. But it's now Aron's job to get the shot back here.
That's what he's going to have to do. Sean Ingram saying 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 every day of the week.
Yeah, that's a Queensland comment. G'day, Nugget. Good morning.
And Sean Ingram. Different
Sean Ingram.
Yeah.
Right, sorry.
There's also Sean Ingham, who is Nugget, Australian champion.
Sean Ingram. Good morning, mate. Let us know where you're watching from this morning.
Yes.
Great man. What a character.
Gail George watching in Mandurah.
Yeah, it's a lot of walking. It's a big task for club players. If you look at the average age of the sport, it's a big, big task doing all those miles up and down a green, 2-2-2-2. So.
That's why we see a lot of very strong-looking calves in this sport.
Yes, you wouldn't want to be playing 3 games in one day under that format.
No.
It's just not probably under the
OH&S
banner.
If you wanted to get your steps up, but you'd have to do a lot of stretching.
So forehand it is. Malaysia 1 down to 1 up. Great shot from Hizlee.
He's playing very well this morning, and Joe Franzi from Broadbeach watching on. Good morning, Baz and Val, while watching and undertaking my marshalling duties at Broadbeach. In for a cracker of a day. We certainly are here. We've got men's triples action this morning. And we've got women's singles action after that. So Alan Ryan will be on after this against Cyprus, against Sarah Trotter. And then we've got Australia v France in the men's triples. Bit of construction going on this morning, Baz.
Yeah, a bit of noise in the background. I'm not sure if you're picking that up, our viewers, but hopefully it's not around for long. As Malaysia holding shot here, looking to score 2 ends in a row. Hizlee on the forehand again. It's going to be just pulling up short, but will he get in the way? No, not quite. So Carl Healey, a couple of back bowls there for him. Malaysia got a toucher in the ditch. He's looking to just sit that shot bowl for 2 or get the jack with the right angle.
Carl Healey. He's in the
hold.
area, but, well, does he get a lucky result? He doesn't. And that will be, will that be 1 or 2 to Malaysia then?
Not sure. The angles were pretty hard to pick up from where we are. Could have been 2.
We'll try and have a look at the scoreboard when it's updated. But yeah, the angles were a bit tricky there. It could very well have been 2 there to the Malaysians.
I love that. Jeez, I love that, Val. The Malaysian skip, Hizlee, just telling his lead, he had already had the mat down as they declared the head, and he was ready to roll the jack. He said, hey, whoa. Just slow down. Wait till I get up the other end and give you a spot to roll the jack. So important for leads that they really adhere to what the team and especially what the skip wants from a length point of view with the jack roll. As we see, the score is 4-2. Oh, we haven't seen an update, sorry.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so important that the communication between lead and skip is on the same page in terms of a jack length. And that was great from Hizlee, just showing his experience there. Just taking the lead, slow down, wait till I'm up the other end, and I'll give you a marker to put the jack. They found the marker, and now he's backed it up with a good lead bolt. And hello to our viewer watching from Valentine Bowls Club in Newcastle. I was just there 3 or 4 months ago. What a magic place that is. Valentine down there on the water.
The shortened version of Valentine is pretty good too.
Apparently they have a fantastic Valentine's Day bowls event. You can't blame them.
Nope.
So Malaysia sitting on 3. Oh, beautiful lead bowling. Frame the head a little bit as we see. Jack Eye set up. Corey Wedlock won't be far away. Just trying to sit up on the shot bowl or tuck the jack around the corner.
Joy Voss asking, love Carl Healey, but how come Omar's not skipping? I think it's just a tactic, just to try something different.
Yeah, it keeps Aron fresh, you know, keeps him fresh, energised, keeps him sharp around the heads, calling shots. It's great, great to see. And, you know, Carl Healey last year, Australian Open skipper, the men's fours gold medal. So Carl Healey's a state-level skipper as well, very accomplished skipper, won lots of major titles. Standing the head has Carl Healey, very versatile player, and as we see there, Aron Sherriff just releasing the bowl. He's got a nice little head to play to. He's got second shot and a nice catcher for the jack here. Needs to get down. Well, he's so close, Aron Sherriff.
Almost just shaving through. A lot of love for you, Baz. Harry Callahan can listen to Barry talk bowls all day. Awesome commentary. And Joe Franzi as well. Kudos to you, mate. Your tips and insights from inside the world of top flight bowls are invaluable.
Thank you and good morning. It's great to hear. I love hearing people from all around Australia and all around the world. It just goes to show how big this sport is. And I feel, especially post-COVID, it's only growing. More people outdoors doing social things. And bowls, where else would you want to be? Down your local bowlo?
Yep, especially when they look as good as this here at Mudgeeraba. It's a great place to come and watch. There's plenty happening. We do apologise. We've got a couple of little technical glitches here, but we will work through those. As Aron Sherriff gives Carl a lot to work with at the back of the rink there.
So I just want to give a bit of an insight to our viewers. So Malaysia are well funded by their government. They've got a great system over there for their athletes. As you can see, the players, very athletic, do a lot of training in terms of their high performance. They go into week-long camps, Monday to Friday, where they train, work on nutrition, mental toughness, and spend weekends at home or going back to work with family certain times of the year. There's a big program over there in Malaysia, and they've got some great facilities, a couple of indoor complexes. So take their bowls very seriously, and their resumes, from not only a country's point of view, but some of the individuals speak for themselves. And they're a very, very large bowling nation and a very professional nation.
The World Bowls president in Daryl Clout comes and bids us good morning.
Good morning, Daryl. So as we see easily, just sliding past there. He's put that bowl exactly where he needed it. That's where Carl Healey's trying to get the jack. And Carl's just going to need some work off the front. He is missing high. Well, he's just missed the wing bowl. That would have probably got him some much-needed love there. So as you can see, a lot of movement behind the head, a lot of discussion, a lot of body language, and a lot of animation from the players. They're just trying to make sure that they're there for their skipper. So you can stand around and sort of just be boisterous, but body language is a big one as well. And great to see that from the Malaysians, making sure they let their skip know where they really need a bowl.
Brad Marin asking if that 65-0 win against Turkey is the biggest recorded at the World Bowls Championships. Look, I'm not too sure. Have to go back and dig into the archives to see, but it would certainly be up there. There wouldn't be many more that are bigger. And Aron Sherriff, we do apologise. No, he's going to move out of the centre line now. It's averaging about, I think, 3.6 per end. You've just calculated there, Baz.
Yeah, I had a good look the other night.
Carl's gone big.
Needs jack.
Underneath.
just missing.
So this looks like it's going to be another one to Malaysia. They extend the lead to 4-2 now. So a good start for the Malaysians. And I think it's been set up really well by their opening two. And then Hizlee Abdul, Rais, the silver medalist at the Commonwealth Games from 9 years ago, has settled in very nicely as the skipper.
Yeah, it definitely has. And just good direction to it. The Malaysians, as you see, and I mentioned it a few things yesterday about knowing your role on the mat and off the mat. So much of the coaching that most players will receive and the information they'll receive, 99.95% of it probably revolves around your job on the mat. But you have a large role off the mat as well, especially at this level. You're going to ride a lot of emotions. You're going to have to really be there for each other day in, day out across 2 weeks. Long days, up at 6:30, morning walks, breakfast, play 8:30 through till 5 o'clock. And as you ride those emotions and those feelings, you need to be there for one another from a team perspective. And you've got to have your A game at all times, not only when you're delivering your bowl, but off the rink. You need to be bringing the energy. Speaking about shot selection, the body language, you need to have your smarts about you all day long. And a big compliment to that would be how you're fueling yourself, the food you're eating, the nutrition and all that. So these players a lot of them across that, and they know every percent goes a long way to getting that overall win, and they're playing for the biggest title of their lives, and it's just great to see the players going about it in that professional manner. And some of the off-mat duties would be picking up a bowl, walking over, tapping your teammate on the back, voice. So voice is probably the two main methods of voice and physical body language. So a lot of those things can go a long way to getting a win on the board.
Yep, you're exactly right. And we spoke about communication, Baz. It's so important. This has been a really good start from Malaysia. Australia scoring a 2 in the opening end. Healey looking on song, but the Malaysians have really stemmed the strengths of the Jackaroos.
Yeah, two good shots from Corey Wedlock there, both inside the yard area. Just happens to be, I believe, maybe one down at this stage as Malaysia's bowl's just coming into the head. Don't think that one counts. Might be borderline, but
may fall out. Who knows? It's sitting on the edge.
But over this distance, that's the main goal. Work on the yard area. Just make sure you're hitting the line, as you see there, all the bowls down the spine of the rink. So line's not an issue on these beautiful greens here at Mudgeeraba. It's just feeling the weight along with it as Aron Sherriff comes in. And could be the shot. Very close. Easily the Malaysian skip just asking his second to find 2 feet. Dua kaki. Something I've heard a lot over the years. Dua is 2 in Malaysian and kaki being feet. And you'll hear that a lot. It's usually a regular distance that's commented on as a skipper. For some reason, it's probably the most
said thing
corrected length we require around that 2 feet area.
And, well, nicely played there.
So Aron Sherriff jogging after this. Similar line.
So Idham, Amin, Ramlan putting in a second. Aron Sherriff looking to change things.
And that's the boss.
He has done it. That is the boss, Barry. So Aron Sherriff inserts his presence.
Yeah, touch. Classy shot there from Aron. Only a minor correction required. 18 inches off his first. The line looked clean from the get-go and sits into a good home. So the beauty of that is not only is he shot, but he's locked in. So instead of Malaysia trying to look for that bowl now, they have to revert to some jack movement. Easily here, we're looking just to turn the jack around the corner, probably about 3 to 4 feet. Gets the jack down to somewhere around about 7 o'clock. Can make 2 or 3. It's not far away. Inside of Aron Sherriff's other one's a good result. So all of a sudden he's got a nice pocket of bowls there waiting for him. Healey can either look to play it first and trail the jack slightly, or go forehand and cover the left-hand side of the green. So as we see there, the bottom left-hand side of the rink, Malaysia completely own that, and that's where Hizlee will be trying to get the jack. So Carl will be all across that. Two options: play it first, go on the offense, or go defense and cover on his forehand.
John Fleming watching on. Aaron Sherriff is a great doer, and he is a great second. He's great wherever he performs.
Nice, Flemo. Good morning from Scotland. And Carl Healey can get across. Well, that's a great area.
Gone through, but it helps. So Australia holding sway with a bowl to come left each from Hizlee, Abdul, Rais and Carl Healey.
Backhand with weight. Looking to halve the shot bowl, get jack, or just get jack down the line. He's definitely on a tighter line. Is he going to hold on, though? He's very close. Back cuts his only enemy. Well, Carl Healey's put that in a great spot.
He has.
Especially if he's got a shot.
Aaron Sherriff, I think he's... Corey Wedlock, he's...
Little second opinion
pretty
there.
Sure, and Aaron Sherriff comes in and puts one finger up, so...
Great shot from Hizlee. So if he got a little bit more of the jack, he would have been probably holding 2 or 3 out in the wing.
I think they're going to declare this. Carl Healey's still got one left in the tank. And I don't think he wants to disturb things too much, which is fair enough, Baz.
Yeah, take the one and run. And yes, without looking, I just thought maybe they might have a little chat, and they are having a bit of a chat in the rink, in the centre of the rink there. So at all levels of the game, I cannot recommend it any higher to have these rink chats, especially if you've won the end. Do a little reflection. So what are we, 4 or 5 ends in? So if you broke the game down to into 3 or 4 quarters, especially your pennant match, 21 ends, break the game into 4 or 5 ends, and just have that little debrief every now and then. What's going on? What are the conditions doing? How are we tracking? And what do you want to do with the length? Slight breeze has just come up. And as we see, Corey Wedlock just going a little bit longer into that breeze. How are we all feeling? How are we all settling in? Little chat. And Carl Healey, that's the leadership values he has. Very experienced player.
So a 4-3 lead to Australia. Andrew asking if there's any debut countries at this event. Well, there's a plethora of them. Brazil being one of those. Not sure if Argentina have been to the World Bowls Championships before.
France
possibly as well.
There is a Dutch Open, I know that, in the Netherlands. But, it's amazing to think that there's a US Open and they have that every year, and Australians can go over and play in that. I haven't been there, but the Laguna Beach Bowling Club overlooking the ocean.
Heard some good things. I think Brazil and Argentina, Baz, are both making their debut, and Argentina this morning were very vocal in their Lionel Messi chants. So I got them to do one, and we'll post it on Bowls Australia's social media channels later today.
A little switch up there from Corey Wedlock, so a little bit of a switch of length and moving over to the backhand. So just trying to find something new. And as you can see there with Corey switching hands, the angle of the bowl, so you can see the face of each bowl there. That's just indicating that is the wider hand, and maybe that's just something that he would prefer to play, just switching over there.
Aaron Jaros as well saying Sweden, and I do think Sweden are playing their maiden World Bowls Championships. Ulla Bakren and Pontus Palmqvist, the men's pairs team that are in action at the moment. And Pontus Palmqvist bowling out of Bondi, had him on the right line. Bowls Australia's official podcast in last week's episode. You can go back and listen to that on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts from. Really good guy and really loves the sport. He's done a lot of great work down there at Bondi. But speaking of beaches, Laguna Beach, I reckon that'd be a pretty good place to have maybe a Las Vegas BPL or something like that, Baz.
I've seen photos, and the NRL are going to Vegas. BPL, look out. So
why not, hey?
We'll have to have a chat to Matty about that. But look, I've Google mapped it a few times, and some of the bowls clubs over there are pretty good on the socials. I'm looking to get over there and do some clinics, some of my coaching clinics in the near future and over to America. And yeah, definitely want to check out the US Open one day and Laguna Beach Bowling Club.
Well, it looks amazing there, just looking at some photos here from the Laguna Beach Bowling Club, right on the water. I can imagine it would get pretty windy.
Yeah, magic sunsets over the Pacific.
Yep.
As we see Australia holding a couple there. Malaysia doesn't shape too well for them. It has to be probably a dead draw for me, but as we see, I just want to really focus heavily on the angles of the bowls that are standing up. So the two front left ones of Malaysia, you can see really the angle of the bowler come in. So you can see the full face of all the bowls that are standing up. Just shows you that the turn on that hand's fairly sharp, and that is probably exactly where the breeze is coming from. And if you are sort of fiddling around with your weight control early in a match and you're not quite nailing it, I always feel the wide side is going to be the side that you get your weight control easier. And Carl Healey, he'll be on the back end as well here, trying to draw another or just tuck the jack in as we see the catches there, the Australian catching bowls.
There's a few of them.
He's getting back nicely here on this wide side.
We know they start to turn as the day goes on. Carl Healey, that is enough. To see the Glenelg Bowling Club watching on. That's a great part of the world in South Australia. Beautiful area, Glenelg. John Siteman, the US Open is always a fun event to play in. Played in it once in Arizona, and the competition was the top event for bowls on this continent, I'd say. And then Aron saying, Baz, come on over. I've got a place for you to stay.
Yeah, the great Zhang. Of course, mate. Cali is where it's at.
Yep. And now Hizlee has taken out the jack. So a new line for Carl Healey to go to. He spilled things out really nicely, has the Malaysian skip.
Yeah. Nah, be magic for me. I'm right into my West Coast gangster rap, especially back Cypress Hill days. And yeah, Cali, love to get over there. The boys, Lauren Dion and Aaron Zangel.
Now that will do for shots. But Hizlee with one to come and a fair bit of room. But it is a new line, Barry.
Yeah, it's an interesting, as much as Carl would have loved to nail that, sometimes nailing it, you play into the opposition's hands as well. So
give him a target.
Yeah, if Carl had to put one right next to that and nailed it, well, Hizlee, I know he's got the weighted shot in his armoury, so he might have just tried to run the bowl at, or as you see, the bottom of the screen, run the jack in because he has the tee, but he's left him to play a draw shot out into a foreign territory.
Now, he's not far away here. Is he going to get Carl Healey or is he going to stone cold draw this?
He's drawn it cold.
He has stone cold drawn it. Hizlee, Abdul, Rais, beautifully done. And Malaysia tick their scoreboard along. 5-3 is the lead.
Yeah, I just want to really thank the greenkeepers here. I spoke to the greenkeeper just slightly earlier, and he's always post-work sitting around watching and admiring not only the play but his own work, and so he should. His name escapes me for now, but to the greenkeeper here at Mudgeeraba Bowling Club, there's a difference between going to work for going to work's sake and loving your job, and he absolutely is obsessed and loves his job. And as you see on the live stream pictures here, not a thing out of place, and spends so many hard-earned hours down here at the club, and they are just a picture of perfect, even just the paint lines, the way they've been presented. It's just as good as it gets, ladies and gentlemen.
Consistent tinge of green throughout the entirety of it. It's absolutely brilliant here, and a credit to everybody at Mudgeeraba. And Fiona Hall as well. Roscoe is his name, from Serena Bonnell. Great to have your company, Serena.
That's it, Roscoe.
Middle of your tournament, watching your teammates. What a star you are.
Yeah, he's just sitting over there, green side. He's Roscoe, and he pretty much any time you come to the club, he's here putting in the hours.
Nicely done.
And his staff and his volunteers.
Nicely done there from Corey Wedlock to edge in Haiqal Azami.
Yeah, nice reply, especially with your first bowl.
Val Andrew watching on. And Howard Andrew as well. Good morning to you from Munta.
on the Copper Coast in South Australia. Moonta Bowls Club was the host of Australia versus South Africa in a roughly about 2000 and...
Was it 12?
I'm going to go 2009. And Wallaroo up the road, double indoor bowling centre as Corey Wedlock shaves the jack for one, maybe two.
I reckon there could be a second there, Baz.
Good double from Corey, yeah. So the Copper Coast in South Australia, they've got the Moonta held the Australia v South Africa series where I remember Aaron Sherriff played in that one. Sean Baker debuted for Australia in that one.
Yep.
And that's when the great man, Richard Goodbody, finished up with Bowls Australia. I think it was his last event, Richard, so did a great job for Bowls Australia in the media comms department.
I think that was one of Aidan Davis here, maybe his first event as well.
Yeah.
One of his early ones. I think it might have been after 2009. He started 2011, I believe.
Aaron Sherriff, forehand, about 2 feet of room. Nice start here for him with his first. It's coming in nicely.
Beautifully done. Lucas Protopap is watching from PA headquarters. I'm not surprised at all.
There's a man that could work on that stat for us.
Yeah. Do some work, Lucas.
He could find out Aaron Sherriff's win-loss ratio for us. Surely he'd have some time on his hands, wouldn't he, Lucas?
If he's not sleeping on the job.
But, yeah, what I love about that, when Moonta held the Australia versus South Africa series on the Copper Coast there in South Australia, is what I call elite exposure, and just to see the sport travel.
Arriving weight, sorry, Baz.
Yeah, that's a lot worse. Yeah, it's a tough shot to just try and peel the jack around the corner, but turn that bowl straight over the top of the jack and close that head down. Yeah, the elite exposure is nothing better when you see major events move around and you see the big-name players going to areas of the country.
2011 was that series in Moonta, Baz?
Yeah, I think I managed to get about 400 or 500 school kids along to watch over the 3 or 4 days, and what I love from that is they rush down after school to watch again and have a bit of a roll up on the available greens, and that elite exposure, you can't beat it. And to see certain areas of Australia see their favourite players and international stars right in front of them. So as we see here, Australia holding a nice little 3.
They are.
Not many opportunities for Malaysia. There are opportunities for Malaysia, but the degree of difficulty is quite hard. Hizlee's got to come down here now, combat that gap, and try and crack an egg on the shot bowl. Backhand with some form of weight. It's quite optional, but maybe 4 or 5 feet away will be enough. Try and come down here now. Here he goes. He's got good weight. He might just draw second. They needed to hurry. Well, he's couldn't have put it in a worse spot.
No.
Especially if he hasn't cut the count back.
But you mentioned, Baz, about the clubs that get exposure from hosting some of these events. I think of Mount Tamborine last year, going to the Trans-Tasman. Damien Bartlett, the greenkeeper, did such a wonderful job getting that ready for us for the Northern Hemisphere conditions. And what a great little club that is up there.
Yeah, definitely.
It's Carl, I reckon.
Beautiful part of the world as well. Yeah, Carl Healey, that's almost perfect. Just trying to get a bowl into the spot where the jack may go. We experienced that leading into Glasgow as well, Val.
Is that in Maribyrnong?
Maribyrnong Park. Turned their greens into some form of condition for Northern Hemisphere, and as well as Ocean Grove. Shout out to Ocean Grove Bowling Club. Matthew Flapper then, when vying for his spot in the 2014 team, and got a bronze medal in the fours there, did Matty Flapper. Ocean Grove held a series against Malaysia. We played for a cup, actually, and what a club that is down there.
Jeez, I'd love to host an event in Maribyrnong. It's not far from where I live at all. They're real easy.
Hizlee needs to find 18 inches of weight just to try and draw second.
He's not far off. I reckon.
Falls. Well, what an effort. They're 2 cracking shots from the skip.
Hizlee, Abdul, Rais, that has fallen in for second, I reckon there, Barry. That is brilliant.
Yeah, he was very ugly 3 for me down, and now he's turned that into 1 down. Hasn't given Carl many options now. The cannon is on.
Yeah, but he's got to be inch perfect here, because any disruption to that, and who knows Or are Australia protected? If it does spill out, I do believe Malaysia might have the tee.
Yeah, so it's a timing shot all of a sudden. So
So no,
forehand.
that's Australia on the tee.
Yeah, forehand with weight. Probably maybe 15 to 20 feet of weight. So Carl will be just trying to time this nicely around the front one. If you can get a good chunk of the second nearest bowl of Australia, he might dislodge that Malaysian second shot bowl and make a 3 or 4. And I tell you what, if he plays it, they will get right around him here. This is one of his specialties, is Carl Healey. So forehand, 10 feet of weight. He's trying hard here, Carl Healey. That's a good sider. Only a bowl and a half high. 1 to Australia.
Yep, which is what they need. It's close. After 7 ends here as we edge towards the halfway point of this match. Malaysia leading at 5-4. Just 1 multiple scored for each team. A 2 to Australia in the opening end and a 2 to Malaysia on end number 3. Other than that, we've had 5 singles scored. Really interesting start to this intriguing contest. Australia and Malaysia both looking to put 1 foot in the quarterfinals. The other men's triples sections, section 1 as Corey Wedlock just goes underneath, great weight. England, they are leading section 1, a game in hand on Israel in second, and Thailand in third have a game in hand on Israel as well. So they're in a good position, but England look as though they are almost through. Here it's Australia, Malaysia, India, Zimbabwe, all vying for those 2 spots. Section 3, USA, South Africa and Ireland, all on 15 points. New Zealand in 4th on 12. Very, very intriguing section there with a couple of games to go for each. I think 1 left for each this morning. So New Zealand might find themselves out, which would be a big surprise from that group. And then Scotland, well, they are through in section 4. They had a draw earlier on against Wales, but they're on 16 points. They're through. Japan just needing to draw their last game. And they get through. Because Alan Ryan received a walkover this morning.
Oh, she's already sitting over and watching the Aussie. I don't know if it was a walkover or the game could potentially already over. I'm trying to look over and see if there is a scoreboard there. Australia v Zimbabwe. Can't quite make it out if their score's been updated or it was a walkover. But all of a sudden, Australia's got an extra cheer.
Well, Zimbabwe was undefeated, Baz, so that was a big match for Alan Ryan this morning. Barry's just going to go have a quick look and see what happened. I've messaged Karen Murphy to see if I can get a quick response, but going back to the section 4 here, and it looks as though Scotland, well, they're through. Japan and Wales jostling for that final position through. 21-1, was it, Baz?
Sure was.
That is a mighty result for Alan Ryan. That has taken her 40 minutes.
Yeah, I would have thought.
What a statement.
21-1, you're probably looking at in that time frame maybe 9 ends, 10 ends. Yeah, so that's a big win for Alan.
Well, she takes on Sarah Trotter next. And the Cypriot has not finished a few of her games, so Alan Ryan getting a rest before what could be a very long encounter. What a mighty performance from the Commonwealth Games champion.
So Aaron Sherriff, big weight here. He wants jack movement. They've got the tee. Oh, well.
Cleared a couple out.
Probably managed to get shot there. Depending if that bowl of Malaysia, well, I probably think it is Australia, but still a lot of room for the Malaysians. So we're now on end 8 here. Australia.
Trav Nutia saying that Zimbabwe would benefit from an Aussie win here. They certainly would. They are looming in third position in this group.
Yeah, things do move around from all the results. It's amazing how teams can jump in these pools from other results. So Malaysia. Carl Healey just studying things there, looking at jack movement. What's the count on the tee? Having a good study before he walks away. Looking at all the options. Jack movement's probably his best option. Forehand, open draw, happens to touch it, say 6-8 inches down the line, can make a good 3. So Carl Healey, forehand it is. Jack length around about 33 metres, so one of the longer ends. He needs some jack movement here if he's not drawing it cold. He's good on a good arc. Is he getting there?
Needs to run just underneath, so good effort. Australia haven't won multiple ends in a row. Malaysia have gone on one streak, and that was ends 2, 3, and 4, where they won 3 on the bounce.
So Hizlee, Malaysian skipper, wants to turn that front blue ball or just come around it. He's very quick. Maybe he was trying to more so play a weighted shot turning that bowl up. But Carl Healey, 2 feet, he'll add here. Nice little reset off the mat. And off he goes again. Well, bit happening next door, just the opposition next door, the Fijian team, just playing a bit of weight, so just resetting.
Carl Healey, big opportunity here for Australia to try and assert some dominance on this contest. Better line.
He's all over it.
He's not far away, is Carl Healey. You called it beautifully, Baz. He was all over it. And a big high five for Aron Sherriff. He is very pleased with his own work, or Corey Wedlock, sorry. He's very pleased with his own work, Carl Healey, and he should be.
Yeah, I was interested to know who actually had shot, and I'm not sure now if that jack movement has brought that front Malaysia bowl in for second. So Australia have at least 2 out of the 3 now. So weight critical for Hizlee. Doesn't want to go too quick here. Flick the front blue bowl out. Potentially go 2 down if he isn't already. So
if that front blue bowl goes out, then they're in real strife.
You can be looking for just 2 to 3 feet of weight here. Just look to sit the shot bowl. Open both hands, forehand or backhand. I like backhand under his front, but he is going forehand, looking to follow Carl down.
Let's see what he can do here.
The Malaysians are riding this. Not far away.
They don't mind it. I think they're going to miss high. They will.
Must be only one if he was playing that kind of weight,
yep,
because you wouldn't play that weight when you were 2 down.
So, with 1 end to go, before the halfway point of this match, we sit at 5 apiece. This has been anybody's contest.
So jack length. Yes, long again, around 33, 34 metres. As you can see, there's a lot of distance between Matt and Jack. Corey Wedlock. The Bear, as he's famously known as. First World Bowls Championship for Corey, coming off a Commonwealth Games last year.
Having exposure at the top level at both events. Something that very few get to do.
Yeah, one of the nicest guys you'll meet in bowls. Absolutely loves a good laugh and a banter, does Corey. And loves his bowls. Proud member of the Warilla Gorillas.
Yep. There's a lot of high-profile members down there. Corey, Teasy, Gary Kelly, Jeremy Henry.
Yeah,
it's a
fantastic facility. Yeah, they're updated recently. They build over one of their old greens and turn it into an amazing outdoor facility. If any clubs out there want to look to build anything outdoor in the way of entertainment, What a facility that is. I've never seen it before in my life. We sat out on these tables and they had gas heaters under the tables that heated the glass on the top.
How good is that?
Oh, it was amazing.
Is that from Corey Wedlock? Just pushes the jack closer to Malaysia's opener.
Just shaving it. So, yeah, you basically they turn the heater on for you, which are under the table, and the heat goes into the glass, the thick glass, and just makes it a nice warm temperature for you to just sit there and have your drink or coffee,
How good is that?
Yeah, so the facilities
we
see...
went there earlier this year, but we didn't get a chance to experience any of that. But
yeah,
next year, I think, or actually when the World Bowls indoors is back.
Yeah, they've got the outdoor heat, pizza ovens and large big screen TVs and great community facility there down at Warilla Recreation Club. Aron Sherriff, forehand. He's looking just to get something close here. Start with, 18 inches, 2 feet. Try and cut it back to 1. Or draw the shot himself. Needs to hang on.
Oh, he's come
close. Yeah, definitely close. Malaysia now.
Australia have a pretty healthy head around, but if that jack can get tucked away here, there's a possibility that Malaysia can get a third, and it's up to Idham, Amin, Ramlan to do that.
Malaysian.
Just come underneath.
Yeah,
so right idea.
Disappointed with that. So many benefits to being heavy there. Trail the jack for 2, or if you're high and heavy, you're probably getting to the tee. So missed opportunity. And sometimes it's not how many good bowls you play. It's trying to nullify the ineffective bowl. So that front bowl of Malaysia, it's well and truly out of this game as Aron Sherriff.
He was in the area. That'll do, I reckon. High five suggests that it'll do.
Yeah, big correction required here. It's not all about getting shot here. It's putting a bowl into a good area. As you can see, the way the head's shaped, Australia have 4 together. So 2 at the front, 2 at the back. They have 4 together. Any jack moving into the middle there could potentially pick up a number. So if Malaysia don't get the shot, they've got to finish in a good area here. Don't want to kick it onto the jack.
They have. And
might be only 1 shot now, though.
Yep.
Healey, nice high five, good body language, storming up the green.
Yep.
It just proves and shows he's up for the challenge here.
Yep. And he's he loves his bowls. He's a great person to have around the team, great for team morale. Got to know him a lot during the Com Games last year. He's a genuinely great fella who loves a laugh, Healey.
Yeah, in my coaching sessions, Val, there's a question I always ask. If you're not playing good, what else are you good at while you're playing the game of bowls? And if you ask Healey that, he would say, well, I'm going to be probably the loudest on the green. I'm going to probably show the most body language in a positive manner. I'm going to be giving the most encouragement because there's guarantee one thing, it all happens to us in the sport of bowls. You're going to have a bad game or a bad day. But what other goods do you bring to the table? And Carl, when he plays for New South Wales, he's the loudest, yelling out, "Go Blues." And you'll also hear him across the next few weeks yell out, "Go Jackaroos."
Yep.
He'll be cheering on his Australian teammates while playing, and he brings a lot of goodness to the team, not just with where his bowls finish. As we see Hizlee sit that bowl for 2.
That is monumental from the Malaysian skip. Asking the question.
Yeah, very well-rounded player is Healey. So he's now 2 down. Jack's his best option here in the ditch. Or bowl and jack it would be real good too because he'll win the tee. Healey, he's under.
He's under, but
What's
he's in
happen?
the area. A lot of... he's got the result. Well, not sure he was going for that, but you just got to be up, Baz. You got to be in the area, and he was. It was a big target to draw to or to hit.
Yeah, so just a couple of bowls off target he was, Carl, and as you see, so he gets red through blue clean, no jack.
Yeah.
Malaysia probably, even though they'll stiff to lose shot there, probably lucky the jack didn't move because if the jack did kill, you can see they're 3 down on the tee. But Hizlee, can you repeat the dose?
Well, he's just got to replicate his last, and that'll be enough.
And it's all about mindset here. The result, just put it behind you, go back into your routine. Okay, it didn't get work against for you, that result, but just reset, go again. Try and draw the shot for your country. He's trying hard here.
Hizlee, he's close. Doesn't want Jack
that's
move.
magic.
Oh, no, he does.
Two
he does
shots,
want Jack
Malaysia.
movement. I thought he might have been skewing it towards the Aussies, but that is brilliant. 2 magical bowls from Hizlee, Abdul, Rais, and they score their second multiple to the Malaysians.
So there's a couple of ways of looking at that. You might say Malaysia a little bit fortunate to trail the Jack there. He was trying to draw the shot and he was heavy, but that's the way the sport works. It has its way of evening out. Carl was off target, got a maximum result, and the Malaysian skip was, as you said, Val, in the area, a little bit heavy, but got a result also. So that's just how the game can work. Ideally, you do like to see it even its way out, but there's nothing worse than having a day where your opposition's getting 4 and 5 results to your 0. But that's the game we love and play, and you've got to just run with it. But ideally, most times, and I did mention it yesterday, the great players, when they do miss, they just miss in the littlest of areas and just off target, and that's why they continue to get the results.
So, Malaysia take a 7-5 lead as we round the bend towards the conclusion of this match. We are over the halfway point now. As the spectators continue to flock in here at
that smell of
Mudgeeraba.
coffee.
Yep.
Paul Holschke was on the ball yesterday. He delivered some coffees. We're missing you today, Paul.
Yeah, sure are.
Corey Wedlock on the backhand. Jack length, about 29 metres. Looking to really force some pressure onto the Malaysians with his first delivery. Doesn't get much better than that. Nice shot, Corey Wedlock. 10 inches short.
A lot of fans coming through for Hizlee this morning. They are enjoying his work.
Malaysian lead here. We see nice bend of the torso, bend in the knees, nice large back swing and big step. And you need that in Malaysia. Slow greens. But as I mentioned earlier, their facilities having to play on some carpet and some indoor. They get to sort of train on multiple surfaces. And shout out to Malaysia too. Philippines. I just come across the Crusaders Bowls Club in the Philippines. Brand new facility, carpet green with accommodation on site, and
Beautiful.
looks like to be a really, really good facility over there in the Philippines, and that's what you love to see. Countries outside of Australia updating facilities or building brand new ones. It just goes to show bowls is popular all around the world. So well done to the Crusaders Bowls Club in the Philippines. You can check out their Facebook. And that's what we need to do. Just share the news, share the word about the sport, what bowls clubs are doing, what players are doing, and that's how we grow.
So, Malaysia. Not sure if that's holding sway or not. Carl Healey giving some instructions to Aron Sherriff. Took a year off from the Australian setup just to rediscover his passion and love for the game, and spent a lot of time with his family, changed clubs, moved to Broadbeach, won absolutely everything there was to win in that time. 2 Australian championships, an Australian Open singles, and this year an Australian Open fours, the indoors, the Golden Nugget, Bowler of the Year, Male Bowler of the Year for 2022.
And that's not far away. The awards night, Bowls Australia Awards.
It is very, very close.
Always a good night.
Yep.
Malaysian second there, just putting the bowl as near as he could to the tee. I think he's won the tee. Be close. Aron Sherriff. Little promotion on Corey Wedlock's bowl here. And the weight looks good enough. Just going to miss under. And just fall out of shot. So Malaysia now find themselves slightly outnumbered. 2 of the 3 being Australians. Second and third shot bowl there. That's always where you want to be. You want to be always outnumbering your opposition and then try and create an opportunity by having the most bowls around the jack or in the head. So easily forehand will be just trying to draw off that last bowl of Aaron Sherriff's.
It's a big end to win for the Aussies. If they can try and wrestle something back.
He's pulled this really tight. And just
this one's going to dart away. Watch this as it comes towards the head.
Yeah, that was just all technique. Just sort of fell away on that delivery. Every now and then you have that one that just doesn't come out right. And as I mentioned, Hizlee and the rest of the Malaysian squad spent a lot of time on in their training. So just a little technical error for the Malaysian skip. Weight wasn't too bad, just missing under.
So what's the go for Carl Healey now? There's 3 in the area for the Aussies. But that back blue bowl.
Yeah, I think it's backhand.
Sit it.
I think
Get rid of it.
Yeah, I think it's backhand with weight. It looks like it's going to be big weight though, so it is.
Carl Healey, he's gone big and he's missed.
So I think the call was backhand. Corey Wedlock's bowl there at 1 o'clock, straight through the shot bowl.
For 2.
Or he may have been looking at the bowl here, the widest bowl of the Malaysians, the inside of that for both blue to make 2 or 3. And I've got a sense, I'm obviously not out there, but I can only judge what I can see from here. I've got a sense, knowing Carl's great conversion game, that's what he was going for. As Hizlee tries to draw another one, well,
he's done it.
Well, that'll make his mind up now. They need the jack out of there, Australia.
Then they don't have the tee, though. This is the problem, but...
Yeah, so that's okay, Val. So Carl's job now is to reduce the damage. So 2 down to 1 down's a good result.
That's true.
So if he just gets the jack out in there and it happens to drop 1 on the tee, that's not all bad. But there is a chance to, especially with these 5.2 metre width rinks, World Bowl standard rinks, remembering some clubs at the moment may play minimum. So minimum width. The width of these rinks here are world standard, so they're much wider and creates a larger chance of the jack staying in. So any movement of jack here, as you can see, the paint out the wings there are right off the centre line. Stepped it out yesterday, just over 5 metres wide. It's Carl Healey on the forehand, looking for some form of jack movement.
He's not far away here, Carl Healey. He's got the Australian bowl, and, well, you said from 2 down to 1 down, not a bad result, and that's what Carl has achieved there. So, Hizlee really starting to insert himself as the danger man for the Australians, because his conversions and his ability to adapt and change things up, he is playing a blinder. Hizlee Abdul Rais, silver medalist in Glasgow 9 years ago. No shame in going down to Alex Marshall and Paul Foster, that's for sure.
Yeah, amazing game that was. Not only Malaysia played unbelievable to make the final, but they were solid in the final also. And the score didn't sort of reflect that, but yeah, that particular game, Scotland were just too strong in front of their home crowd on the greens there in Glasgow. So I'm just, apologies, I'm just double checking the rink widths. I'll get them for you in a minute, but there is a maximum and a minimum of rink width you can have, but these rinks need to be at World Bowls.
So Malaysia went through that draw, defeated Wales in that quarterfinal. Then they got over the top of Namibia, who defeated Australia 19-12 in that quarter.
Yeah, Aaron Sherriff and Brett Wilkie.
Yep, they started that one with a 15-0 lead after 8 ends. They're the Namibians. didn't get a medal in the end, and then it was 20-3 in favour of Scotland in the final after they got over the top of England 16-15 in that semi. Right here, though, at Mudgeeraba, it's an 8-5 lead to Malaysia.
So I've got it here, Val. It's 4.3 is the minimum, 5.8 is the maximum. And that's a huge difference. 1.5 metres difference. And that can shape the way you play the game too if you're playing on a minimum narrow rink versus a wide maximum rink. So it's one part of the preparation and training the Aussies would have been right across. And it's not always an easy thing to do because if you're trying to turn your green into a 7 or 8 rinker, you've sometimes got to play at a minimum width. So that means, obviously, if the rink is narrow or at a minimum, it means the jack's got a larger or higher chance of going out of bounds when weight's played versus a wide rink. And they are wide, all right. You do see the difference.
So that one there, the boss from Idham. Time for Aaron Sherriff to step up and put his bowl down. After this, and see, it's been a really interesting contest. Like, you feel as though Australia might have had the momentum a bit before, but then the way that Hizlee has converted the last two ends, has he changed things for Malaysia?
Yeah, we've seen that back-to-back ends in this direction from the Malaysian second. Short, ineffective bowl. You're better off, giving your bowl a chance and having some form of value at the back. Aaron Sherriff comes down. We can't quite see for it. Little clap from Hizlee. Needs to hang around. Well, he's done enough. So it's so important to play good bowls, don't get me wrong, but you can't waste bowls in areas that have no value. And so, unfortunately, that front bowl at 1 o'clock there is well and truly out of the game versus potentially being 10 foot behind and winning the spot. So this, especially this format, so much value in reaching and even winning the tee, especially when the jack's right up the green, as we see here. So Hizlee finds himself one down. Needs to try and sit this shot bowl. He's not a mile away here. He's just lacking a little bit of weight.
Almost promoted that Australian bowl up.
Yeah, he probably needs to find a yard because it brings the other option into play. So the weight he just played then, it will only sort of sit the bowl for 2, but he can still play more weight and look to halve the jack or sit the bowl. As Carl Healey.
He's not far away here, Baz. Just needs to clear.
Yeah, nice slide.
Yep,
and
good slide.
First in, best dressed, as they say. So Hizlee had his chance, didn't quite grab it, and Carl did.
Now, if he doesn't grab it here, Hizlee, there's real danger that Australia can pull back a 3.
Yeah, it's a nice head for Australia. Hizlee's got a tough shot on here. It's just over the draw, forehand. Needs to find probably 18 inches of grass.
Charlie Daly watching on. Great to have your company, Charlie. Hope you're going well. Malaysia has certainly built a strong program since the 1990s. They've had a lot of pioneers in the world of bowls, and Hizlee, one of those. What's he got here? Has he missed high, Baz?
He definitely has.
So, opportunity now for Carl Healey.
Yeah, so just as much as sort of the idea of the game is to try and draw to the jack, Carl just needs to draw to the centre line here, send it out on a similar track as his last.
Yep.
Let the bowl work in.
Aaron Sherriff and Corey Wedlock don't mind it too much. It just needs to run. It just needs to run, and it doesn't have the legs. So it's a 2 for Australia, a much needed 2 at that. Their first multiple in 10 ends. The only other one was in the opening end of the match. So 8-7 in favour of Malaysia. As a triumphant Ellen Ryan walks past us. Big win for her this morning. So, All of a sudden, Malaysia looked like they had the momentum. Carl Healey has gone short. Dean Andrews watching on from Marubna, but Corey Wedlock getting some good weight on that one. That can certainly be used. Good home. Been playing a bit of cat and mouse, these two nations, this morning. 11 ends played. Australia have won 5 of them, Malaysia 6. That's where the difference is, of course. These two, first and second in Section 2, both with 4 wins and 1 loss. Australia's shot difference of plus 120 is almost like an extra win. India sit 3rd, Zimbabwe sit 4th. All of them on 12 points. India, of course, defeating Australia, inflicting their only defeat. That was in the opening match, and Zimbabwe were the ones that defeated Malaysia 16-11 on day 1 of the competition. As we swap the leads over, Corey Wedlock has put one right on there. And Australia trying to gain the lead here. They have not led since the end of end 1. They were level after 8 at 5 apiece. It's the closest they've been. Great bowls from Corey Wedlock. Now Aaron Sherriff, it's his time. What can Idham, Amin, Ramlan conjure up?
So Australia reverting back to the short length, and it's working so far. Just went through a run of ends around that sort of 32, 33 metre mark. Didn't quite. As we see, big weight from Malaysia. Close here. Just missing.
He's taken their own out. Unfortunately, Barraby can't change the positions of the words. What you can do is click the 3 little dots wherever they may be on your screen, depending on the device that you're watching on, and you can remove the subtitles.
So big weight we saw there from Malaysia. Don't think they can play that weight again. They must get a bowl behind. So this is the respot format. Most times you just try and blow this head up, but you've got to just try and arrive now and have some value in behind the head if you miss. Backhand it is. Looking to get the jack out of there. Sit the shot bowl. So the weight's been reduced here.
And it will go behind.
Well, that's actually worked out all right. It's hidden that nearest bowl. So that'll be now Hizlee's weight. That'll be his goal now, to try and kick the back jack there.
So let's have a look at what the Aussies do. Does Carl now go back and does he match one?
Well, as it sits at the moment, the best thing Australia's got for them at the moment is that huge gap between Jack and the bowl at 9 o'clock. Carl's priority there is to not fill that gap. But the way the head's set up, he's got to also cover the 2 blue bowls where if the Jack goes there, he's 2 down. So that's what he's done pretty well.
That's where Carl Healey goes. Is it going to get there?
Yeah, it's a nice home.
Yep. So that will cover.
This comes back to personal preference now. If you're in touch and you're feeling it, you back yourself just to try and play a nice little draw shot here. You can.
This is where Hizlee is going. And he's been in form. We'll see that bowl come into picture very, very soon. Let's see where it ends up. It goes around the back. So Hizlee with 1 more left in the tank.
So Carl Healey could play backhand and trail the jack for 3 or 4, but then he might make the shot easier for Malaysia. So what he's doing is taking his medicine here. Pretty much 9 times out of 10, you'd try and trail that jack for a number, but they're very happy the way the head's set up. and they've believed that it's a high degree of difficulty for Malaysia, so they're going to leave that how it is and just cover any potential danger.
More than fair enough, and Hizlee is going for the draw. The Malaysians do like it, but it is it going to get there? No, it's just going to miss high, and Australia get back on level pegging. They were 3 down, and on a couple of, well, just the one occasion they've been 3 down, but it is 8 apiece after 12, so 2/3 of the way through this, Baz, and we are level yet again. But the momentum with the Aussies at the moment.
Yeah, so basically layman's terms there is, do you want a very difficult 2 for your opposition, or do you want to score 1 more and give them an easy shot to play? And that's the decisions you've got to make. Australia decided to keep it as a very hard shot for Malaysia and run with the 2. As we see Corey Wedlock lose his first jack for the game, just trying to get that real minimum length. There is a big difference between minimum and a couple of metres on in terms of just the way it looks cosmetically, and just searching for that short length, just not quite making it. And Malaysia bring the mat up, and I suspect they'll put it back somewhere around the tee. When they got on that little run of ends earlier, they were playing that longer length.
So, Malaysia get the mat. How important could that be? Mark Jones watching in Bali. Barry Lester's just been there. It's now renamed Blessed Town.
Yeah, it's my first experience there, and treated so well. It's great to finally get over there. Corey Wedlock, he was there just before me. So just finishing 2 feet short there is Corey, 18 inches. Nice, handy little starter.
Yep. Well, considering, losing their jack, it's always good to be in the area.
So Australia holding 1. Malaysia just falling a yard short there. So we're getting a little bit of a swirl happening now. The flags now, for pretty much the last hour, have been coming in from the east. Now they've just swirled around, coming back at us from the west now. And as Corey puts that bowl past, the first 2 were slightly short. So I'm just seeing if the conditions, as they're changing, are playing a little bit of havoc with the positioning of these bowls.
So, what have we got?
Nice shot here.
Haiqal Azami. He'll come through. What do for shot? Probably favouring that bowl at 6 o'clock.
We've pretty much had a left-hander nearly every game so far on the live stream.
How much does that please you, Barry?
Oh, it's always good. It's good to see a change-up, and it's always good to know that there's others out there.
Not the only one.
Yeah, it's...
Sometimes you can feel a bit outnumbered, can't you?
Growing up playing in my late teens and early 20s, I always felt there was a heap out there, and it's like there's not so many anymore. Growing up, playing with Mark Casey and Joel Simmons, and so there's quite a few around, and there still is, but it's always good to see more. Former Australian Jackaroo, Genevieve Dowles, lefty.
Yes, she is. That's going to come around the back.
Yeah, that's better. That's better. You want to see that. Just giving the bowl a chance and finishing in an area where the jack, you never know, may end up. Aaron Sherriff, nice home there. Just out of the count. Probably just 18 inches out of the count, but on a really good track. Just, it's hard to see from where we are, but it looks to me like Malaysia's still holding 1. It's coming in on a good angle as well, this one. If it's got the right weight, good count here. Just falling short, but that gets in Carl's eye. So as we see here, that tunnel on the right-hand side of the rink, The Malaysian bowl might be worth a couple of shots. Carl Healey might look to come down 6 feet away, sit that shot bowl. I think that's really the only option with both angles to the jack covered. And being the opposition, you don't want to flirt with them. So I think we'll see a bit more direct here from Carl. Forehand, potentially ditch weight. I think he's got to play weight that if he gets the front red bowl of Corey Wedlock's, it'll go onto the jack and stay around. So he's trying hard here, Carl Healey. Needs a clear run to it. Well, he's feathered. Well, that was plan B. I did mention if he plays the right weight, that front bowl will go up.
And it did. So currently 2 to the Aussies.
Yeah, that's a great shot from a weight control perspective, Carl. Looking to sit that shot bowl out for 3. But his great weight control created another option, and that was just to turn that front one down a couple of rolls and stay around for a counter. Hizlee on a high line. He needs a slide here. He's got one, but too thick.
Yep, so he's going to come down to the head and inspect, which is a good move. Next session, Alan Ryan and Sarah Trotter. That's at 11:30. Australia versus Cyprus.
Yeah, this is what the game is all about. And we focus probably so heavily on where the bowls finish and getting shot and so on. But this right now is arguably the most important factor of the sport of bowls, decision-making. And making the decision and doing it with your team. Great to see Carl there fully invested in what Aron and Corey both had to say. And from a team perspective, they've all agreed on something. And before Carl left the head, the shot was made up, and now it's a matter of just Carl going away and doing it. Great to see all 3 players heavily involved in what's best for the team here. Carl Healey, a little bit higher than what he wanted. Just needs to stay off this blue bowl. He's done it okay. So good weight there. He was just
Or they might have been promoting it up then. It was dangerous, but now...
Yeah, you're just looking to sit that shot bowl at the Malaysian's nearest bowl at 3 o'clock, just out in a high line.
So, will Malaysia retake the lead? Hizlee has been sensational so far today, or will it be the Australians who get the ascendancy back for the first time since the opening end of the contest? We're on end 13. The Malaysians have led for the majority of it. What is Hizlee, Abdul, Rais, what has he got? He's going to crash in, but what will he crash into? It won't flop up enough. And is that 2 to Australia?
I believe it is. And Corey Wedlock has rolled the jack already. So no mucking around. Try and grab some momentum. He's rolled this one right this time as Corey Wedlock.
So no harm done with that missed jack roll. So the Aussies, they're in front, Baz.
Yeah, it was a pretty exciting head of bowls there. A lot happening. Carl Healey just shaving the front bowl, nearly sitting the Malaysian bowl out for 3, but reward for weight control, those contingencies, I speak about. Every weighted bowl you have has to have a contingency. As Corey Wedlock nails the jack.
Well,
if you miss left, what will happen? If you miss right, what will happen? If I get through to the back, what will happen? And it's just great to see these players playing such superb weight control, knowing there's always some other result if you're not quite on target.
So, now Corey starting to win the lead battle against Haiqal Azami. Absolutely working their way into this, the Australians, as they look to put 1 foot in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, good shooting from Corey.
9 teams in this group, so 8 matches to be played.
Yeah, good body language here. Not a bad reply, that. Wow, great shot. So for me, Malaysia's just got to increase their percentage of bowls from in front to behind. We know what Aron Sherriff and Healey can do when it comes to playing weighted shots. Just got to start getting 1 to 2 bowls past Jack a little bit earlier. Because if this game starts getting to the point where big shots need to be played, it's the team that's going to have a higher percentage of bowls, Jack or beyond, that can pick up that multiple to try and break away.
So, Barry, the way that things sit, India currently leading Turkey. So that would put them in second position on a live score on the table as they look to get themselves through.
Aron Sherriff on the backhand. 6 feet was the call from Healey. Try and sit the shot bowl of Malaysia. He's pretty close here.
He's very close, Aron Sherriff. He's sit the shot bowl. And that gives Australia the ascendancy back.
Yeah, not only has he sat the shot bowl and got shot for his country, but he's also left a gap. So it's back to a single bowl target now. Malaysia's got to either try and draw it or just work that shot bowl off the jack. Start building ahead, and 2 bowl triples. Got to be getting in early.
So Deanne Devine asking how many games each day do teams play. It's a maximum of 3. Might have a bye, so it might be 2. Just depends.
Well, this needs to reach.
Underneath
Yeah.
and short.
Hizlee asking that to reach. It's a disappointing effort. That had to be disturbing the head or getting to the back red bowls.
So the second battle now being well and truly won by Aron Sherriff. And Australia looking to extend this margin if they can. Biggest lead of the match was 3 to Malaysia after the 10th end where they led 8-5. Australia took the lead for the second time and the first time since the opening end at the end of the last. So we're near the climax of this contest. There's the replay of Aron Sherriff's sit and stay. Healey looking for this one to get around. Aron Sherriff wants it to get around. Not bad weight. Just needed a bit more on it.
So the spot has to be achieved here. It'll be nice if he easily can draw the shot, don't get me wrong, but must set something up for his last bowl if he fails here. Now, he can get some action off the wing, but he's going to need a good bounce. Well, he's got a decent bounce there for a nice second, but they still find themselves 2 down. So if Healey draws another here and Malaysia's 2 down, Malaysia don't have anything at the back because they didn't get, as you see, 3 Malaysian bowls short of Jack High, 2 up the front left and 1 at the right.
Healey needs it to get down. Is it going to get there? He's just gone over the top and landed on that last Hizlee bowl.
So if Malaysia had 1 or 2 behind now, Hizlee's got confidence in playing weight, knowing that there's no danger, but he's going to have to play the difficult shot here, just over the draw, looking for the shot bowl or tuck the jack around the corner.
What's he got?
They're wanting it to turn. Here it
Hizlee,
comes.
it's coming. It's just gone through.
Good head of bowls. Well done, both teams.
1 to the Aussies. And the margin, Baz, it's at 3. Biggest of the match, or equal largest of the match. And since they were down 8-5, they've rectified that deficit, and it's a 6-shot turnaround.
Yeah, just chipping away. Corey Wedlock there. Nice front end pressure there with his first bowl right on top of the jack. And guess what? It stayed there. It was the end winner.
The boss.
And the front end pressure is so important, and areas on or beyond as a lead is the number 1 rule. If you're getting on, that's great, or be beyond, because you can't afford to be getting in your teammates' way. So if you're playing lead bowls and you want to be doing this for your club, just putting him in just slightly past Jack High. So Corey Wedlock, nice starter there. Beautiful conditions here at Mudgeeraba Bowls Club. Mudgeeraba Bowls Club, I think it would have been probably close to 10 years ago now. Floods, bit of a wetland area this is, high flood zone, and pretty much the whole clubhouse was completely underwater. And the Bowls Australia Disaster Relief Fund came to play and supported Mudgeeraba Bowls Club. And what a great initiative that is. Disaster Relief Fund Australia with summer around the corner. Great shot, Corey Wedlock. He's definitely going up a level, is Corey Wedlock, these shorter lengths. And the Bowls Australia Disaster Relief Fund is a fund that people can contribute to any way, shape or form through raffles or fundraisers. And all money received goes back into supporting bowls clubs out there going through any hardships with natural disasters, fire, flood or theft. And the Mudgeeraba Bowls Club were the recipient of some funding a while back when they went through some floods. And it's great to see as Malaysia getting the big stick out.
Yep, very early and taking out their own. So Haiqal Azami missing high, and the only bowls left on the green, on the rink, are Corey Wedlock's.
Too early for me, I'm sorry. I think Malaysia had to build ahead then, especially the size of that gap between Corey's two bowls. I think just take a deep breath at this stage, Malaysia. Still plenty of ends left, only 3 down. And
and tee covered by Aron Sherriff.
Yeah, I see Hizlee coming up to the head here. His teammates already on the mat. Just maybe slightly rushing things here.
Are they a bit rattled here?
Just got to really slow down a touch here. As I said, Hizlee was walking up to the head. His teammates already on the mat looking to play a shot and not going to make it. So Hizlee finds himself 2 down with only 2 bowls to play.
Yep. This is the problem
for himself.
For Idham. He's just been short and missing in his efforts. And Sam Duke's asking a question, Baz. Question for both the boys. Who would be in your dream team of 4s from players past and present?
In 4s? Well, Bowls Australia did that, actually, I think, through COVID. Did a little bit of a fun initiative. You know, name your best 4. And I think it was on a voting system or something. So, for me, I'm always going to be heavily biased towards my mentor, John Snell, OAM.
Is that why your nickname is Snelly?
Yeah, John Snell, Hall of Famer, Bowls Australia Hall of Famer, multiple Commonwealth Games, World Championship medalist, one of the Australia's greats. John really...
Another short one there, sorry, Baz.
Yeah, John really took me under his wing when we played together in Lakes Entrance, Victoria, so never got to play any high-level bowls with John outside of tournaments, so we were different eras, but I'd always have Snelly in there somewhere. That's 2. Am I in the team as well, or do I pick a?
Oh, you can be if you want to be.
So I'll pick a absolute clean 4. There you go, and I'll be the coach. How's that sound?
All right, perfect.
So Carl Healey on the backhand doesn't want to fill that gap. Ideally, if he can get back to the centre,
almost going to.
Well,
that's perfect, I reckon.
Yeah. So Hizlee now. He's got a little bit of help on the forehand. Backhand, there's no help at all. Forehand, he has. Come down, work off the blue, crash into the split. See if he gets some help.
He's gone big, and he's gotten rid of his own.
Well, he's opened it up.
So, where do the Aussies go now? So, Baz, who have you got in there? You've got John Snell.
Yeah, well, there's so much you could play around with the team, and you know, if you're going indoor, well, straight away it's pretty easily if you're playing in an indoor event. I know the question hasn't got all those specifics, but let's probably generalise a little bit more then. I'd probably definitely have Snelly probably playing 2. We'll give him the card. We'll give Snelly the card. We'll put Brett Dupre on the mat. I modelled my game around Brett Dupre. Yep. Birdie. Just the way Hizlee.
He's
going to cut it back here.
He has cut it back.
He might have nearly got second out of that. 4 down to 1 down. Huge save.
Was it only 1? Yes. That is a massive save.
Yeah, that's huge. So backhand, it was a fraction high, got a nice little...
Was it one only?
Pretty sure I only saw one finger down.
Yeah, well, there you go. 12-8. Australia still extend the lead, but it could have been so much more.
Yeah, that was a big 4. Well-earned 4 too for Australia. They played a really high effective rated bowl end that end and just didn't quite get the result they're after. But Hizlee tried to manufacture something and he came up with second shot. Got a little bit of help off the wing, but as you say, up and in the area, and Australia got to now back that up.
Yep.
Another 3 or 4 bowls within a couple of feet.
All right, so you've done yours, Baz, or who was you skip in the end?
So yes, I've got John Snell.
Yep.
I've definitely modelled my game around Brett Dupre on the mat, so there's lead and second. I would have to put the man out there, Aron Sherriff, in there.
Yep.
Would have played well over 100 games together in the green and gold, so got to see all of Aron Sherriff's game on multiple occasions.
Yep.
And growing up watching a lot of bowls on TV, Mazda Jack High, Australian indoor singles, you name it, I'd have to have Steve Glasson in there as well.
Very
so
nice.
The fact that if you had to go indoor for a washout, Steve Glasson's 9 Australian indoor singles speaks for itself. So, and obviously they're all players I know well. So if I'm going to coach them, I know all 4 players pretty well, as opposed to some players that are well deserved to be in my 4. I know those 4 players really well and got to know them over my journey.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Pretty
good 4s team.
And that's only the men's team.
Yep. Well, I'll have a crack at the women and see who we can get in there. Look, a lot of mine would be recency bias. Karen Murphy would have to be the skip.
So Corey Wedlock, he's probably just one down here, but at this stage of the game, it's all about percentages. So obviously you want to be nailing the jack, you want to be getting really close and setting things up for your teammates. But when you're trying to really consolidate your 4-shot lead and see how...
Great bowl from Aron Sherriff.
And that's what I was getting to. Not only... So the beauty of Corey Wedlock's bowls were they not only close, but they were passed. And what they provided for Aron Sherriff is what is the key to playing with people like an Aron Sherriff, especially if they're behind you, is giving them clean access to the head. So Aron Sherriff didn't look up and go, oh my God, what do I have to dodge here? Something under, something around. No, you give an Aron Sherriff clean access to what he needs to do. He's going to nearly do it 9 times out of 10.
Big weight here and missing Malaysia. Well, I think they might be rattled here. Barry. They might be rattled. Aron Sherriff now, he's going around the back because he knows something is coming.
It's a difficult one to comment here, Val, because I'm not quite understanding why Malaysia's playing the big weight and neglecting the tee. So, as we see here, once again, free access to the tee for Aron Sherriff. Malaysia then, yes, I get that they wanted to play weight, but it had to be weight to stay on the green, especially with a high jack. You've got all that room to play weight and stay on the green. They must stay on the green with the tee option. I understand going big to explode the head and nullify all the shots, but those contingency weighted shots are so important in this format of the match.
What a team performance this has been from the Australians is, again, going high, but that might work out. It is going to go past the tee. I think. Can't quite get it.
And into the ditch. The 2 wasted bowls. Okay, you know, it's nice to hit what you're going for, but what is plan B? And I know Hizlee would be disappointed to lose those 2, but it's on Hizlee. He's the one controlling this rink at the moment, and he's got to now play big bowls when they matter.
Play the rescue role. Australia holding 2. And there is an opportunity for the green and gold, the right-at-home Jackaroos, to almost end this now. Because they're 4 ahead. They were 3 down when this run of ends started. They've actually won the last 5 ends of the contest, Barry. They were down 8-5. 7-shot turnaround.
2 bowl triples. You know, there's only 6 bowls you've got to play versus usually the 4s or pairs where you've got 8 bowls. But you need to be making smart decisions and making the most out of every bowl, as you've only got 6.
Is that a little miss there from Carl, or
Yeah,
is he
so
trying to put it out there?
no, what Carl was trying to do, I believe, was just trying to match that wing blue bowl. But so easily here for me, it's definitely weight. So as you can see, the way the blue bowl is angled at 11 o'clock, it's got a high possibility of moving as it's standing. So they're trying to run that through the jack or get to the split.
Hizlee, what's he got? Oh, he's taken one out.
I don't know why he wasn't asking his second to play that weight.
Yep.
I really don't know, because it's creating opportunities.
So Carl, what's he got now? As they look to try and land the killer blow. He doesn't want the jack too much, and, well...
Yeah, stiff there. Trying to change the head up.
Would be some sort of relief for Malaysia.
So Carl Healey there, the intent was right, just to take the shot away from Malaysia, but unfortunately just getting a little bit too much of the jack. An inch or two higher and he's perfect.
So Hizlee,
as we see, Hizlee now just letting the bowl go. High draw, because there is a little bit of bowl in his way. He's played this pretty good. If he gets down, well, that's a great response.
wow, this is, well, that came out of nowhere. The Australians completely controlled the end. And a skewed jack from Carl Healey. Well, all of a sudden, there was an opportunity to land the killer blow, and Malaysia find themselves back in it. 12-10, 2 ends to play.
So Hizlee, the previous end, got on the mat, found himself 4 down, cut it back to 1, and before his first delivery in this direction, found himself 3 down and made 2. A little bit unfortunate for Carl Healey, trying to take the shot away from the Malaysian, but that's a nice response, getting back to the centre line there. It's a good shot. So Malaysia fighting hard. I said that at the start of the game. There's a really good rivalry between Australia and Malaysia. It dates back probably into the 90s and beyond, as Malaysia's really gone on leaps and bounds with their development. And it's a great battle we're seeing here. Only 2 ends to go.
Lost jack.
2 shots in it. Malaysia trying to stretch out the Australians and just losing their jack. So here we go. Malaysia playing to Australia's jack length. Backhand. 25-metre length. Nice kind of length. Probably a length most players would practice and be used to. The beauty of these players, they practice and train multiple lengths. Can play all the shots on all surfaces on different lengths, and that's a nice lead bowl there, just sliding through. Great start. Beautiful TIFF 12 greens here at Mudgeeraba. Well presented, well manicured. Great volunteer base here at this club. Like so many other bowls clubs out there, we thank them for all their hard work. Corey Wedlock just going under, finishing bowl short. Players bowling in the west direction, heading away from the ocean. And this beautiful day here. Clear skies, slight breeze. Crowds are building. Good home there. Just missing through a yard, but as we see, Malaysia have 2 bowls beyond the jack. Creates a great opportunity for the players to come, to create a number or play with confidence. Just trying to see here. Yes, I think it's backhand. Can't quite make out. Forehand it is. So forehand, open draw. About 18 inches of room for shot here. Coming back nicely. Just a little bit hot. Only a yard over. Good to see a few bowls together, though, for the Malaysian team. Aron Sherriff backhand. Turn the shot bowl over or just slide past would be the ideal result. He's played it pretty well. Yeah, well done, Aron Sherriff.
So apparently it wasn't a 2 to the Australians before. I think it was on N13. Let's try to confirm. They've got it as 11-10 up there. So it wasn't 12-8 before. It was 11-8. Now it makes the difference only 1 with an end to play after this.
Just one of the questions in the comments about being locked into a position. I think you've just got to go out and train all facets of the game. Don't be afraid to have a word to your coach or club coaches or even selectors and let them know your thoughts and wants and where you want to progress in the game and be transparent. That's the key. Communication with your members. All your members are there to help each other out and support one another in their quest to achieve whatever they can in the game, whether it be an individual achievement or a team achievement. But if you've got ambitions to play other positions, let them know and go out and do the training accordingly. Work on your weighted shots, your conversions, and probably the most important part of playing backhand in bowls, playing third or skip, is your communication ability, knowing how to lead a team into battle. So there's lots of good stuff out there online, YouTube, books, and so on. So educate and equip yourself with what you need to do, work it on in training, and try and develop your game from there. As we see, a bit of weight there, just edging the Australian red bowl. So it looks like it's 3 to Australia. Malaysia having all the back bowls. Carl Healey showing Aron Sherriff where he'd prefer it with his foot. Something just in behind, in amongst that nest of blue bowls of Malaysia. If you can turn this bowl over the jack, should be a handy result. Well, that's really good. So Hizlee probably left to try and draw this cold now.
Yep.
Don't think he'll drive at a single bowl target.
This is where the Australians just need to really zone in here. If they can make Malaysia need a multiple to even tie it in the next end, it just makes things a lot harder for the Hizlee Abdul Rais skipped squad. Australia be absolutely desperate to put one foot in the quarterfinal.
Yeah, massive moment here. Not the easiest head to play at for Hizlee, but he's got to back his draw game here. Visualise the draw shot with no other objects on the green. He's just trying to get to the jack and jack only. Will he get down in time? What an effort. So right down the middle he goes. He's just got to drop a yard of weight with his next.
Yep.
It's definitely something he would have practiced and trained in his skipping drills. Just trying to draw out of trouble. Three down, I believe. If the head shaped up differently and knowing he's got all the back stuff, I'm sure he would have tried to attempt to drive at this, but the percentages are if he does play a good draw shot, he probably either gets the shot or cuts the damage down. As Carl Healey comes down on the backhand, he's trying to get out and cover those blue bowls of Malaysia. He's played it well, right next to Aron Sherriff's foot, and they give him a little bit of love for that. A couple of high fives. So Hizlee on the forehand. Massive moment here. Lying at least 2 down. Needs to take a yard of weight off. Good line with his first. Body language from the Malaysians. Starting to look at this.
What's he got?
He's close.
No.
He's drawn it.
Got it.
And
he has got it.
Malaysians are up and about. They're cheering him on. They're halfway up the green, cheering him on.
So, Carl Healey, it's all up to him. Is it... Oh, Hizlee... Abdul, Rais, what a delivery.
He's backed himself there.
I can't believe he's drawn that.
He's played some clutch shots the last couple of ends when in trouble.
Speaking of clutch, Carl Healey is going to have to do the same. We could be tied going into the final end.
Carl Healey, I believe it's backhand with weight, big wind up, looking for the half of the red Australian bowl. No, reset. I like this.
Yep, he's going to come back up and have a look. All the green and gold contingent coming up to have a look.
So as we see there, the bowl just off centre of Australia. So the questioning factor here is how do we drop more than one down? And that's why you've got to study all the angles. The last thing you want is jack movement. As we see here over the back left-hand corner, 3 or 4 Malaysian bowls together. One down's not all that bad. Of course you want the shot. But we could just watch any jack movement for a worse result. But I think it's looking for that cannon for Australia. Carl Healey winding up on the mat is reset. I think it's all about the weight control here.
So, Carl Healey, this is massive. Biggest bowl of the match so far. Big weight. And he's missed. So, all of a sudden, we are tied with one end to play. This has gone right down to the wire. Australia looked as though they might have been home and hosed. Malaysia were rattled. They were making some errors. But through the sheer brilliance of Hizlee, Abdul, Rais, they remain in touch and they remain level. It is tense. And we have no idea who is going to salute.
So Australia will have last bowl.
Which is a good scenario to have.
And I spoke earlier, one of the keys to try and win this match for Malaysia is to increase their bowls past jack, and they've done that. Last end, you only saw Hizlee draw the shot with his last, but still playing to a head that was open. No Malaysian bowls to negotiate, and that's the key as a skip. You don't want to be negotiating your own teammates' bowls. High degree of difficulty, played a clutch shot and drew it when it mattered. So Malaysia now need to get the first couple up and about. This one just running through.
Not a bad home. So Wedlock, Sherriff and Healey against Azami, Ramlan and Rais. The winner of this, as I said, goes a long way to putting themselves into the quarterfinals. Both going past Wedlock and Azami.
Yeah, as you see, we're just adjusting the camera there to create a better angle for you. One of the reasons why we're doing that is pretty much the first time in this match the jack's been so close to this tee. So it's a bit of a foreign area for all the players, and we're seeing that with the first two bowls, just trying to get a feel for this new jack position. And it's broken both leads.
Yeah, bit of a correction there coming from Haiqal Azami. Not bad at all.
Yeah, enough for shot, but I expect Corey Wedlock just to drop the yard of weight here. He's out on a nice lane.
He certainly is. Corey Wedlock wants it to get down.
Yeah, good shot, Corey.
And that will do. The crowd appreciates it as well.
Yeah, so both players giving their bowl a chance, which is encouraging. Last end, you want to go down, giving your bowl a chance and see what happens from there. Corey Wedlock, nice adjustment. Both bowls on a very similar line. As we see this one out on a higher line than Corey Wedlock. Slightly wider bias bowl. Just getting back now. Probably line will almost do for shot. Just needs to take a little bit of weight off. And the crowd is really on the edge of their seat here watching this match. A lot of people leaning forward to get a view of this action. And Aron Sherriff just finding the gap. It's not the worst home, though.
Yes, you're right. It's a good home. Now, is it 2 for Australia?
So jack length, 27 metres. Matt the fairway up. Just jack slightly off the tee.
Halfway through the final length, Baz, or the final end. And it's time. Idham, Amin, Ramlan puts his final bowl down of this match.
He's better here line-wise. Has he got the weight? Needs to hurry. It's a big effort.
Don't think it's done enough. Aron Sherriff can do no more after this.
Aron Sherriff, he's stalking this.
We know that when he does this, he likes it. Aron Sherriff.
Wow.
Beautifully done.
Great shot, Aron Sherriff. And a little touch, which is always handy as well.
So Australia, as the skips make their way down through Aron Sherriff, hold sway.
So he's asking it to hold there. Front of the jack was exactly what he was after.
A little nod of approval for his own work.
Yeah, so forehand for the Malaysian skip. He has two options, turn the blue up or sit the shot bowl. Backhand he has, for me, two options as well. Sit the shot bowl or trail the jack. But unfortunately, that first bowl of Aron Sherriff's in that catching area. So it comes back to what hand you're really more confident on here, forehand or backhand. The only small drama with forehand, if you are slightly under, you'll catch the front blue and you won't change the head. Whereas if you are slightly under backhand, you may land or trail. It comes back to what hand you prefer as a skip.
Hizlee Abdul Rais, his final or his penultimate bowl. This is going to miss under. He has one more to change the situation. It's gone into the ditch. Where does Carl Healey go here now, Baz?
Carl Healey, he finds himself where Aron Sherriff's put his right foot 2 down. There is a small chance the jack could go there, and that's your job to just cover all the dangers.
Yep. Because he doesn't want to have to play his final bowl here. Australia currently holding, what is that? That's 2?
Yes, for me it's 2 shots. I think Hizlee was trying to just trail the jack then down the line.
Yep, Carl bowling to the foot of Aron Sherriff. That right ASIC shoe planted down on the green. Needs to stop, and that has stopped in a very nice position. So now, well, it's up to Hizlee Abdul Rais to keep this match going. If he misses, Australia win. If he makes it, Carl Healey will have to come down and win it for the green and gold.
Yeah, I think it'll be similar weight. Looking for the jack down the line. As we see the bowl there, just off 6 o'clock at the bottom of the screen. That's the Malaysian bowl he's trying to kick the jack to. And if he is slightly under the jack, he may sit on the Aron Sherriff bowl. Or he might go more firmer, more direct. Let's see.
He's done it time and time again.
He's on a higher line.
Hizlee Abdul Rais.
Not far away here. He needs the jack.
Is he going to hit his front? He is. Has it rolled in for shot? Are we shaking hands?
Aron Sherriff won't muck around. He'll know straight away. They won't play this Australia if they back them on the... They nearly got the ultimate result there. Hizlee, bowl through bowl for shot. Aron Sherriff saying 1 down.
1 down. Hizlee Abdul Rais has saved it now.
Corey Wedlock having an extended look as well. Australia just wouldn't play this if they believe they have shots. So
we believe, that Malaysia have got it. Wow. What an effort.
Well, going by Aaron Sherriff's indication,
they're going to measure, I'm sure. Carl Healey, he's going to have to do something about it.
Any contact on their nearest bowl, just turn it down.
He's on a high line. Aaron Sherriff has got the tape out straight away.
So, here we go. Soon find out.
We don't know. One down. We think the Malaysians, they have. The Malaysians have got the job done. They look pretty pleased. The Australians a little bit despondent. We're still waiting for this confirmation.
Yeah, one
Malaysia
down.
have done it.
So one to Malaysia. Hizlee with his last, just slightly off course.
What a sensational win from the Malaysians. They looked rattled. They looked down. But Hizlee, Abdul, Rais, almost on his own back, saves this result. And Malaysia moved to the top of the group. And Australia left to wonder what if.
Yeah, Hizlee with his first attempt, just missing under with some weight control there. And then with his last, just catching the front up through the shot bowl of Australia and then hanging around enough for the shot. Playing some big conversions towards the last sort of 4 or 5 ends of the game. Especially that draw shot, the second last ends. Probably now would arguably the match winner, Val, especially being 3 down in a hard situation. But, the game could have went either way. All players in the end contributing well.
And Australia, well, it was that they went on a run. They won 5 ends in a row to take an 11-8 lead. We thought it was a 12-8. We thought that there may have been a 2 in there. There wasn't. But Barry Lester, Malaysia get the job done. They've got 1 foot now in the quarterfinals. An amazing performance from their trio. They should be very, very proud of that result here at Mudgeeraba. We'll catch you very soon in about just under an hour's time for the women's singles match between Alan Ryan and Sarah Trotter. Thank you again, Barry Lester.
Thank you, Val.
An absolute pleasure to have your company all around the world from wherever you're watching from. It is Malaysia who win an absolute epic over the Australians, 12-11, to put 1 foot in the quarterfinal in men's triples action. We'll be back in just under an hour's time for women's singles action.